guest is an actor, writer, and comedian who has appeared in such films as Scream and Malibu's Most Wanted. And starting this Friday, you can see him in the new movie, Son of the Mask. Please welcome Jamie Kennedy.
You have these pop culture moments where you're known for something, you know what I mean, if you're lucky enough to get that. And I've had some really good ones where people really recognize you for things that are good. Scream, Jamie Kennedy Experiment, Malibu, and different things where you pop off. And then I've had some other ones where they didn't work, like when I hosted the Game Awards.
Video games, they've been, where are my jokes?
I tried my own New Year's special.
God bless you, and we'll see you in 2024.
Good night.
Bye. There's a fight. It's ending with a fight.
I started thinking about it, and they all have made an impact in their own way. As much as people have liked something I have done, they might have equally hated something I have done. The mother of all of them is, you know what? So this is the untold story of Son of the Mask. Where to begin? So how did I get involved with Son of the Mask? I had two movies set up at Warner Brothers, and both were my projects. So Malibu's was in the can, and I sold them a project called Dream Girl, which is a script I found, and it was about a guy, a regular Joe, who is the manager of a Red Lobster, who has an affair with the world's biggest movie star. That movie never got made because there was another movie that came out a few years later with Ivan Reitman called My Super Ex-Girlfriend, and it was different but similar. The other movie was a movie about a guy who goes to Las Vegas. He has a killer bachelor party, and he doesn't remember anything. And that was called The After Party.
God damn it! Gosh darn it!
So those are my two projects that I had set up. My manager at the time knew that there was a sequel to The Mask, and they knew that Jim Carrey was not going to do it. He was doing his own thing, and he was on his own path. And, The Mask is The Mask. The reason I think The Mask was The Mask is because of him. He's The Mask, That iteration of the movie was incredible because of him. They put him in, he did what he does, and was magnificent. And, you cannot deny it. It's fucking incredible, right? They were like, you're gonna make a sequel. Your name's being floated around. So I was like, okay. Now at the time, I'm doing my show, Jamie Kennedy Experiment. I have a movie at Fox that I was trying to get made with me playing 5 different characters that Mike Myers, I think, didn't do. I had, like I said, my 2 other projects. I was the guy that you go to make those kind of character movies. Like I was going to try to make my own Norbit or The Clumps or something like that. You know what I mean? That was my thing. Or Mike Myers doing multiple characters in Austin Powers. I was filling those shoes, and that's what I wanted to do.
We're going to do it like Norbit, where I play all the parts.
The company I was at, they also represented the director, Larry Guterman. Awesome guy. Great director. He directed Cats and Dogs, the first one, and it did well. And he's just a really, really hyper talented guy. And New Line had the movie, and New Line was not with Warner Brothers. They were flirting. Right now, they're all owned by the same company. I met the director, had a great meeting with him. And I had one of those moments in a meeting where I was like, well, if I was going to do that, I would do something like this, or I would do something like that. And I said something, and I just did a character for him, and he died laughing. He's like, oh, I can see that. Oh. And he just died like a sweet guy. He just cried laughing. My manager called me. He's like, he loves you. He thinks you're the guy for this. They're still developing it. I was like, okay, well, put it on the plate. We'll see, right? Cut to, that was like, probably 4 months before Malibu's came out. And Malibu's came out, and that's like what I consider like my first baby single, or double. It's like a low cost movie with you as the solo star. You made your budget back in the first weekend. So the movie at the box office made triple what its budget was. Boom, this guy's, he's now in the game. You know what I mean? I was now just not the Scream guy anymore. I was the TV guy. I was like, what's up with this guy, Jamie Kennedy? What's up with him? And then I started taking meetings. It was the first time I ever got an offer. I had a meeting on another movie at Paramount, and it was about 3 guys that go camping and I don't know, on a weekend and crazy stuff happens, and it's called Without a Paddle. Matthew Lillard eventually did the role. I'm pretty sure that was the role I was gonna get. And they kind of made me the offer when it was like they were on the fence, and then Malibu's did well, and they're like, okay, let's make this guy the offer. So they had offered me the exact amount of money that I made for Malibu, but I wrote it, helped create it, I helped write it, created the character, acted in it. I didn't fight for producing credit, but I did a lot. And that was my first big payday. Had a great meeting with the producer, Donald DeLine. He's a huge guy, and that was at Paramount. Had a great meeting with Stephen Brill. And, you know, I knew a lot of the people that were going to be in it, so I was like, you know, this could be great. Once Malibu's went, I got an offer to do Son of the Mask. But it was called Mask 2 at the time, a.k.a. Son of the Mask. So had a lot to think about, you know? I had my 2 projects that I was doing on my own that I believed were my voice, but they weren't greenlit. I had a movie that I was going to be, you know, one of 3 co-lead, or I had this huge franchise with a lot of risk. I don't know how much control I would have, but potentially huge upside. And be the star and in the middle of the firestorm, but it's not Jim Carrey. So you know me, go big or go home.
All I can say is, what were we thinking?
So boom. I don't even want to name all the actors that were up for this movie. Matthew was up for that movie too. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds wanted it. And Ryan Reynolds got in the Blade 3rd one because they really liked him. I heard at one time they were thinking about making it with Marlon Wayans. I mean, I did tons of meetings. I met the guys from Dark Horse. I met all these people. Eventually, my team were just like, you know, you got to pick what you want to do. Half of my team really did not want me to do the movie, and the other half really did want me to do the movie. And so I read the script again, and I looked at it, and it looked like a lot of special effects. There was some funny moments, but it, you know, to me, the script needed a lot of work. It needed a voice. And they said, we're going to let you do the Jamie Kennedy version of The Mask. And I said, okay, that's interesting. So I was leaning towards it, and they said, here's what we're going to do. I sat down in the studio. I sat down with like my team. I sat down with everybody. And they're like, look, here's the movie. This is why you got to say yes to this movie. It's going to come out July 4th of 2004. Okay. You're going to go to Australia for 6 months and you're going to shoot this movie. You're going to be the star of this movie in the sequel to one of the biggest comic book franchises ever. You're going to be on sides of buildings, and you are going to be the successor. And we're going to put $100 million of marketing into it. You're going to have to sign up for sequels. Going to be $1 million for the first movie, $5 million for the sequel, $10 million for the next movie after that. And they were already like telling me how they're planning them out. And I'm like, okay. And I'm still holding my own. Like, I'm still like...
Jamie in the beginning was, I guess you'd say, very nervous. He was very nervous.
Like I said, half my team was like, you know, this, you got to do this. And the other half is like, do you really want to go down that road? Those are big shoes to fill. And I'm like, I know, we have to make it that it's my own show. We can't. It's just The Mask has a new adventure, right? And at one point, I was really thinking, I want to be the Loki character. That'll be less pressure and get like a straight guy to be like The Mask. Because essentially in The Mask, I play the straight guy and then he gets crazy when he gets The Mask. But one of the problems in the movie is that I never got to be all what I am, you know, and people say all this shit about me, but it's like, you know, if you ever watch my show, you know I can do the shit. So it's just a matter of I wasn't getting to do what I do. So I thought if I can just be Loki, who's just fun all the time, and let someone else be the quote unquote lead, I'll be the co-lead, I'll still get the hit, but bounce. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, I was just thinking it's just too much pressure, and I don't know if I can make it my own. And I was feeling good about my projects, so I kind of said no. They were like, are you saying no? And I was like, They're like, well, we need an answer by this amount of time. And I was like, I said no. I said, you know what? This is too much. I don't know what I was on my own groove of Jamie Kennedy Experiment. I had a lot of control. I didn't have all the control, but I had a lot of control. And people that helped with the control, that also had control, at least listened to me. Malibu's, I had a lot of control. This was going to be an $85 million monolith in another country. And even though I was told I was going to be a lot of control, how much control would I have and how many of my peeps would I have? And then I went to Jimmy Kimmel and I was doing Jimmy Kimmel, and one night in the green room, I was there and a very big executive from New Line came and said, so I heard you said no to the movie. And I said, kinda, yeah, I can't, I'm not gonna do it. And he said, okay. He said, well, we really want you. And I said, and I know, and I'm so flattered, and I don't think I can do it. I think there's, I don't know, it's just too much, and everyone's saying all this stuff. And he said, well, I think there's probably more money there. And I was like, okay. I think that's cool, but, tape Jimmy Kimmel. The next day I wake up, my manager called me and they go, yeah, New Line just doubled their offer. I go, the guy said there's more money there. And they go, yeah, there's double the money.
Honey, I'm home.
So now I'm getting double the biggest offer I ever got. Of course, this is why you can't talk to people in your life, because they're like, you gotta take it. It's like, it's not about the money. Yeah, money's great, but you want to make the right decision to keep your longevity. But this is where my team really was just, they were split down the middle, and then they convinced me that I should do it. And I started rationalizing in my head, okay, I think I can do this, and this is what we should do, and blah, blah, blah. But we have to check with my television show to see if we can do it. I say yes to the movie, and then the show says I can't do it. So then I was out of the movie again. And then the show and the studio get together and they rearranged the whole schedule. So instead of shooting the Jamie King Experiment over, where shows usually go from September to like March, we condensed it to 3 months, which is pretty awesome. And we started shooting it in the summer so I could be wrapped by Halloween and I could fly to Australia November 2nd. And like my agent's like, look, dude, you're gonna fucking shoot the show in the summer. You're gonna be done by Halloween. You're gonna have 3 months. You're gonna get paid a whole seasons of shows in 3 months. They ordered 2 extra episodes. You're gonna shoot 3/4 of your show around the country. That's what we did. So we did episodes in Philly. We did them in fucking Miami. We did them in New York. We did them in Texas. And it was like a traveling prank show. It was awesome. And they're like, and then you're gonna go to Australia for 5 months. You're gonna sing, you're gonna dance, you're gonna sword fight, you're gonna do all this stuff, animal training, working with children, all these different things, and you're gonna fucking get paid a lot of money, and you're gonna fucking be the star of this massive franchise. And then you're gonna get a sequel, and then you're gonna get another sequel. And then from that, we're gonna bring in an action comedy, and then after that, you're gonna do a romantic dramedy, and you're gonna boom, and by the time you're fucking 38 years old, you're gonna be making $20 million plus 20%. Well, that didn't quite happen. Well, that was part 1, guys. Make sure you check out part 2. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you like this episode, give it a little thumbs up. And if you want to hear more of these stories, please just hit that subscribe button. And want to be notified, hit that bell. That bell will help. Thanks, guys.